If I can have your attention, please. This time I'd like to call the meeting to order. Before we get started, I'd like to call the roll. Councilman Vice Taylor.
Here.
Councilman Baring.
Here.
Councilman Flowers. Here. Councilman Tripp.
Here.
Madam Clerk, please let the record reflect that we have a quorum present here this evening. This time I would ask Vice Chairman Taylor if he would please offer the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Most gracious, everlasting Father, we do thank you right now in the name of Jesus for all of your grace over Colleton County, South Carolina. Lord, we thank you for all of the staff, the administration. Thank you for all those who work and serve and those who invest in this county, those who come here to visit. Lord, I pray your grace over this business meeting for the county council. Lord, that you said David led the people by the skillfulness of his hands and the integrity of his heart. So we pray your grace on our lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Taylor.
Yes, Chair.
I'd like to welcome everyone here this evening. This is the regular scheduled meeting of Colleton County Council. We generally meet the first Tuesday of each month. Tonight is Tuesday, February 7th, 2023. This is our regular scheduled meeting. I would like to point out and remind those who are attending the meeting virtually that we are holding this meeting virtually and streaming live on Colleton County's homepage at www.colletoncounty.org/live. Any individual who would like to participate in public comments can do so at www.colletoncounty.org/comment. With that being said, again, I'd like to welcome everyone here this evening, and we'll go ahead and before we get started, I do have one item of business. I would like to make a motion that we amend the agenda this evening to add one item under item 4, post-election actions. I'd like to add as item B the appointment to the Board of Directors of the Southern Carolina Regional Development Alliance, and also under new business, item C, ordinance 23-0-05. We need to correct the tax map series number that's listed in that ordinance. It should reflect as 132000054.
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. We will then move on to our agenda, item 4, post-election action. Item A is Chairman's appointment of standing committees. I have with me here to see the standing committees, and I've got the administrative committee. Chairing that committee will be Councilman Scott Baring. It will also include Philip Taylor and myself. Capital Projects Committee will be chaired by Councilman Flowers. It will include Councilman Tripp, Councilman Baring. Finance Committee will be chaired by myself. It will include Councilman Taylor, Councilman Flowers. Planning and Development Committee will be chaired by Councilman Tripp. It will include Councilman Baring and myself. And then the Public Health and Safety Committee will be chaired by Councilman Taylor. It will include Councilman Tripp and Councilman Flowers. Somebody will hand that down to the clerk. She can include that as part of the record. So that brings us then to item B, appointment to the member to the board of the Southern Carolina Regional Development Alliance. Councilman Flowers is up for reappointment to that position. He has expressed a desire to remain on that board. If someone would like to make a motion, the council recommend that Councilman Flowers be reappointed to the Southern Carolina Regional Development Alliance Board.
So move.
Second. We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously, and congratulations, Councilman Flowers. You were reappointed. Brings us to item 5 on our agenda, approval of minutes.
Mr. Chair, just a question. Did you, the Low Country Council, not Council of Governments, Low Country Community Action Agency, is that under this committee?
It's actually, I think, the one position I had, I was going to serve in my stead, and then I don't remember if somebody brought the name of Councilman Tripp.
Yep.
Are you serving?
I'm gonna serve.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think you had a nominee, correct?
Right.
All right. So, so we don't have to do that. I may at some point have a nominee, but
Okay.
but at this point, I'm just going to serve personally.
Very
Like
good.
Councilman Tripp
Yep.
said the same. So, all right, brings us to item 5 on the agenda, approval of minutes. Item A, regular meeting of January 10th, 2022.
Move approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the minutes are approved. Brings us to item 6. Item A, awards and recognition. We got a proclamation, March 20th, 2023, as Barry McCroy Day in Colleton County. At this time, I'd like to read the proclamation into the record. Yeah, that's a good idea. I know Barry, where are you at, Barry? I know Barry, he's probably on call. Barry, why don't you come on? In fact, if all your guys can come up here with you, but if you'll come up in the front while we read the proclamation.
Or at least stand up.
Yeah. And let me point out that we also have with us this evening the Chairman and Vice Chairman of the Fire Commission, Mr. Laverne Pope, and Mr. Scooter Drew, who's there. I don't see, oh, there's Mr. Pope back in the back. So we're always glad to have members of the commission here, and we're really glad to have all the fire rescue guys here. So, but I'm going to at this time publish the proclamation, and it reads as follows: proclaiming March 20th, 2023 as Chief Barry McCroy Day in Colleton County. Whereas Chief Barry McCroy is the oldest son of Bill and June McCroy of Walterboro and Edisto communities and founders of B&K Incorporated. He is an active member of Bethel Presbyterian Church, where he serves as head usher each Sunday and photographer for all things great and small. And whereas Chief Barry McCroy is a classic example of a hero, he is a hometown hero by virtue of his relentless commitment to the citizens of his hometown. His selfless dedication to his profession, department, city, county, and humanity saves lives each and every day. The people of Colleton County and the countless passers-through are direct recipients of Chief McCroy's hard work, innovations, altruistic dedication. And whereas Chief Barry McCroy began his fire service career as a teenager in 1977 in Savannah, Georgia, as a volunteer with the Chatham County Fire Department. Later, he moved to Atlanta to expand his education and experience in his chosen profession with Dr. DeKalb Fire Rescue, taking the rank of lieutenant. And whereas he joined his family in Walterboro in 1991 as an active volunteer with the Colleton Rural Fire Department while supporting the family business B&K Distributors. And whereas in his early days, he constructed the county's first map book road atlas for fire departments, law enforcement, and EMS, using rulers and legend cutouts without the use of computers or electronic media. And whereas, as the fire rescue department grew over time, it was due in large measure to Barry's experience and knowledge that shepherded in innovations such as enhanced 911 service, central dispatch, etc. In 1999, he was named full-time director of Colleton County Fire Rescue. And whereas several new fire stations were constructed, enabling many citizens to obtain ISO Class 9 insurance, lowering their insurance rates significantly. A fleet management program was initiated, a hazardous materials response team was established, a logistics program for standardization of equipment was implemented, and fire rescue relocated to Mabel T. Willis Boulevard. And whereas in 2004, Chief McCroy, also a paramedic, assumed the responsibility for emergency medical services and immediately began implementing improvements such as cross-training all personnel in fire rescue and EMS, introduced 12, 15-lead ECG and CPAP, and a set of standing orders that would lead the way to competent patient care in the pre-hospital setting. And whereas in 2018, Chief McCroy guided the fire rescue department in assuming the emergency management responsibilities for Colleton County, including all its municipalities, to ensure the county's resources were best poised to prepare for, respond to, and recover from emergencies and disasters that affect all Colleton County citizens. Whereas in 2019, under the direction of Chief McCroy, a pre-hospital whole blood administration program was conceived, approved, and implemented. This was one of only 4 such programs authorized in the United States of America at the time. This is a life-saving benefit for certain trauma victims. And whereas in 2021, the South Carolina Municipal Association recognized Colleton County Fire Rescue for its whole blood administration pilot program, and whereas in 2022, Colleton County was named a fire safety community by the State Fire Marshal's Office for the Colleton County Fire Rescue Risk Reduction Plan for 2023. Also, Colleton County Fire Rescue was awarded the South Carolina EMS Large System of the Year for 2023, and we'll pause a minute. How fitting, Barry. And therefore, Colleton County Council hereby proclaims March the 20th, 2023 as Chief McCroy Day in Colleton County, adopted the 7th day of February 2023.
Move the proclamation.
We got a motion? Is there a second? We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Let me say before we do that, not only did we have the proclamation, but we had received some letters. I won't, they're fairly lengthy, and so I won't read them, but Mr. Moultrie Clouden had sent a letter to our administrator and city manager, and he had actually attached a letter from Mr. Craig Ward, who is a doctor at the Emergency Department at Colleton Medical Center, and it's basically given extreme commendations to Mr. McCroy. I won't read the letter, but I will point out that, you know, it had some things in there that August of 2021, the South Carolina Municipal Association had awarded Colleton County Fire Rescue for its whole blood administration pilot program. August of 2022, David Green, one of the training officers, was the National Training Officer Recognition Runner-Up Award for the International Association of Fire Chiefs and Volunteer and Combination Officer Section. June of 2022, Colleton County was named Fire Safety Community through the State Fire Marshal's Office for Colleton Fire Rescue's Community Risk Reduction Plan. And most notably, in March of 2022, Colleton County Fire Rescue was awarded the 2022 South Carolina EMS Large System of the Year Award, which is quite an accomplishment. But also, we were entered into the 2022 J. Mitchell Graham Award competition. Colleton County placed second in that. I actually, just by chance, put this in my car last week, trying to remember to bring the award back to the county. I think it should probably go maybe over at Fire Rescue, but this was an award we received for the accomplishment of all you guys here. The county was recognized at our annual conference, which this is a very competitive process that we ended up finishing second. But out of all the things Barry accomplished, you know, what struck me most is that when I read this letter from Dr. Ward, you know, he put in here, he said, in spite of his stellar accomplishments as a leader and administrator, it was very common for Barry to hop in the back of an ambulance and provide direct hands-on patient care. And to me, that speaks to Barry. Councilman Williams, when he was on council with us, always spoke about when he went to the hospital once and he caught Barry in there singing to a little kid in the hospital room who was injured. So, ladies and gentlemen, we should really be proud of this guy. If anybody deserves to have a day named after him, it's Barry McCroy. And so, with that, are there any other comments?
I would like to say one thing. Mr. McCoy, obviously a newer council member, been in the community for a long time. Not to go over, I can't say what's been written about you here. The measure of an extremely good leader is how his followers, or his people who work for him, think of him. And I've not found one person that works for you that has had amazing things to say about you. So you've got a really good thing going on, and we're lucky to have you.
Yeah, I would like to echo that. As a physician in this community, nobody appreciates your work more than I do. We've seen it go from having the funeral home ambulances, so to speak, to where we are now today. And that speaks volumes of your leadership in this community. And I want to just thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you do and all you've done for this community all these years. And you come, I know your mother and father would like to be here tonight too, if they could, to see you get this deserved recognition. So I would like to just thank you for everything you've done.
Mr. Chair, just really wanted to say, Barry, thank you and congratulations. You know, we worked well together for many years, and I just want to say thank you.
I want to echo the same thing, Barry. I've worked with Barry on all kinds of things all over the county, and Barry goes out of his way to do whatever he can to help you. And he's a great access to our county. Just want to thank you.
All in favor of the motion, say aye. We might have been applauding a little bit. Any opposed? Carried. This time I want to present Barry Wood. All councilors will come out and talk to Barry. We'll get
I want to thank all of y'all for that. That was kind of embarrassing, but I really do appreciate it. I want everybody to understand that, I put a lot of effort into it, and I really enjoy it. And that's what I've wanted to do all my life. But none of this would be possible without all of these people. And I'm not talking about just the commissioners and the firefighters, our volunteers, our career staff, but all the citizens as well, because everybody supports this system. I realize it does service them, but we couldn't do any of it without you guys. I came here tonight because I thought we were going to get 4 or 5 animals. I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm very humbled by it.
All right, thank you. Okay, we'll move on then. On the agenda, we have item 7, appearances and public presentations. We have the Neils Community Center, Mr. Mark Pinckney, who is the Community Center Board Chairman. Mr. Pinckney, I recognize you at this time.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First off, I'd like to thank the board for taking time out to add us to the agenda to listen at us. And I would also like to give a thank for the help that we have received from the county so far in our services with the Neils Community Center. I'd like to give a special thanks to Mr. Scott Barron. Congratulations on your new position, and I've had the opportunity to talk with him a few times, and I'm looking forward to working some more with him. And I'm glad with this interest that he have in the Neils Community Center. And I'll at this time, I would like the Neils Community Center board members to stand. And any other person from Neils Community can stand also. At this time, we're going to have a few members of the board to present a presentation.
Just want to say good afternoon. Council, I am Leslie Holmes, and on behalf of the Neils Community Center board members, we remain grateful for all that you have done for the community. Our community center continues to grow and expand. We have and will continue to provide services to the Neils, Sand Hill, Lashawville, Ritter, Round Oak, Jacksonboro, Price Bridge Landing, and surrounding areas. The community center has become a hub for resources and activities for all. A few of our collaborative agencies that provide resources through our community center are the Low Country Food Bank, Council on Aging, Board of Elections, Health Services through Palmetto Palace, Community Crime Watch Group, Colleton County School District, and Senior Meals when available. In addition, our community center serves as a meeting place for family reunions, birthday and anniversary celebrations, repasts, and sporting events for the Low Country. These events bring additional exposure to the facility as a safe place for community residents. During the pandemic, the Colleton County School District utilized the grounds to provide mobile internet access for the children, which was necessary in completing school assignments. This was just one example of how the grounds and facilities provided essential services to the community. Now we will have Dr. Denise Rhodes, who will explain the playground project is one of the items we are here tonight.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good evening. I'll try to be brief. I know we only have a certain amount of time. I am Dr. Denise Rhodes. Okay, so you've heard what we do. You've heard what we've done. But I'm here to request funding on behalf of Neils Community Center for our playground. We have a small agenda here, and I'm going to start with the playground equipment. And it's just various pictures of our equipment. Here we have the jungle gym and the slide. This picture depicts a deteriorating equipment like the slide and the jungle gym. And just if you blanketly look, some people may say, oh, you just need to pressure wash it or just clean it up. But if you look closer, this is rust, this is mold, there's crack, and the slide and the jungle gym are very unsturdy. That's very unsafe. We have activity wall also. These items here are for our children. These are broken. The swings, they have lots of rust on it. And you know, if a child gets hurt, if a child scrapes their knee or cut themselves, then we have another thing that we need to consider, which is tetanus. Also, there's mold, there's rust here, and there's many spots of mold which can cause respiratory infections. Safety, this depicts a bench that was destroyed by a tree that fell, and that is part of the tree here that was removed, was cut down, but it wasn't removed. We also are showing where we do not have fencing, and you know, for the security of our seniors, to create a safe space. We do not have that in our playground area. What we're asking for. We're seeking funding for the following items to improve our grounds of the community center. A pavilion with covering, aluminum benches for seating the youth, the community, and senior programs. The covering pavilion type that's depicted here as they have in Cottageville, it will protect families during inclement weather and during hot weather. It would also allow us to further expand our programs to plan additional outdoor activities. Here at Mayfield Terrace, they have fencing, and they also have aluminum benches. And at the Parks and Recreation, they also have fencing to create a safe space for when children are out there playing, when we have activities. It creates a sense of security and not only safety. Lastly, the Neils Community Center would like to thank Colleton County Council for submitting the application to the Parks and Recreation Development Program. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Regina Brown. We bring greetings on behalf of the Executive Board. We're asking for a generator for the community center. It's the heartbeat of our community. What would it provide? Electrical power to citizens should there be a catastrophic or a environmental event, and also it will provide backup for other medical devices and cell phones and medications that need to be refrigerated. It would allow us a place to have warm meals that could be distributed in case of extended power outages. It would prevent families from traveling Highway 64 and 17 for any unforeseen natural emergency. So if the power goes out, we don't have to worry about our senior citizens getting in their cars and trying to get somewhere to power a cell phone because they can't reach their families. Or if they have an emergency, they have somewhere to go, say, hey, I need to power, my oxygen machine is about to go out, things of that nature. A generator in place would assist in providing updated information to all families in the community. Should an event happen, they have somewhere they can go to have service, cell service, charge phones, etc. We all know emergencies are not scheduled, and we want to be prepared. And the generator is needed to ensure the safety and well-being for all families, and we thank you for your consideration of providing this for us.
Good evening. On behalf of the Neils Community Center, we'd like to thank you for the opportunity for you to hear our concerns. We thank you for what you've done in the past, and we look forward to working with you in the future. This is a need for us in our community. Emergencies are not planned. We just need to be prepared. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to reemphasize what Ron just said. The generator to us is almost a necessity. We'd love to have it in place in case of emergencies, so we can be prepared to assist the people of the community and surrounding community. We just hope that y'all would consider it and get this thing done. We thank y'all for taking the time out to listen to us, and we look forward to working with you. And I'd also like to give thanks to Mr. Kevin, who has helped us a lot in the past. And we look forward to working with him too. And we thank you guys, and y'all have a good night. Thank you.
All right, we'll move to item 8, the amendment. We'll move to item 8, administrative briefing. Mr. Griffin.
Chairman, Council, good evening. I'll be brief. First of all, I would like to remind Council that on February 22nd is going to be a little bit of a remake of used to be our legislative visit. It's called County Connections now by SCAC, which is going to be the same as our Legislative Action Day. That'll be Wednesday, February 22nd. And then I would like to get back together if y'all for that evening and the following day meetings with our legislative caucus, especially our state delegation, our local delegation with the state, to put that together. And I think the municipal associations having theirs. Walterboro's up there this week, and ours will be in a number of weeks there as well. Also, as far as the agenda is concerned, I did want probably the primary thing to point out there is item A, second reading on old business. We've got a number of items there. This is primarily a cleanup of, as you know, we just passed a new zoning ordinance here a few months ago. There are a couple of items that needed some cleanup in there as far as buffers go with some industrial properties. There are some classifications in UD2 zoning district that we talked about that we made some adjustments to. And there are also an addition there with solar farms, which is something that's become of a great interest here lately. We've gotten probably 3 or 4 inquests and probably maybe even 1 permit application already there. And We do not have an extensive, I guess you would say, regulation for solar farms to protect adjoining property owners from that use and make sure they're screened properly and those types of things. And I've got also, Mr. Johnson, that item on the agenda. If y'all have any extensive questions, we can certainly answer those at that time as we move forward. The solar farm regulations were added to this second reading. They will also go to Planning Commission here on, I believe, February 23rd. And that they'll be ready for third reading as we move forward as well. Also, we do have the building code updates. That's something we kind of have a gun held to our head that's passed down from the state that we have to do as we move forward as the code updates come down. But other than that, if you have any questions about the agenda or anything else, I'd be glad to take them at this time.
What was the date you said again?
It is February 22nd.
And is that an all-day event, or is it just?
That will be, generally they do it, and we get up there in the morning, mid-morning, and then have they have a reception in the evening there, I believe at the Capital City Club, I'm not sure. And I'll follow up with them that evening, maybe with a meal, to connect with our local legislative delegation. Chair?
On the 23rd, I think Mr. Tripp and I are scheduled to be in training that day, so if we need to reschedule, let us know whichever room.
That's correct.
One for it would be glad.
Right. They do that following day.
Okay, any other questions? All right, hearing none, we'll move to item 9, public hearing. We have no public hearing this evening. Move to item 10, item A, old business, second reading, ordinance 23-0-01 to amend Title 14, Land Management, Section 14.08-2, Zoning District Regulations, and Section 14.08-4, Landscaping, Buffering, and Environmental Protection of the Colleton County Code of Ordinances. This ordinance will have a public hearing on March 14, 2023.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item B, second reading, ordinance 23-0-02, to provide for the sale of a portion of real property owned by Colleton County, South Carolina, Mr. Jason McMillan, for the property identified as tax map series number 195-00-00-181 on Cooks Hill Road and other matters relating thereto.
So move. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Brings us to item 11, new business. First, under item A, first reading ordinance 23-0-03 by title only, to provide for the issuance and sale of not to exceed $40,365,000 general obligation capital project sales tax bonds of Colleton County, South Carolina, to prescribe the purpose for which the proceeds shall be expended to provide for the payment thereof and other matters relating thereto.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Brings us to item B, first reading, ordinance 23-0-04 by title only, authorizing Colleton County to join with Walterboro-Colleton County Airport Commission in the city of Walterboro in conveying 26.5 acres of a portion of real property identified by tax map series 132-00-00-018 to Fuller Properties LLC.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
What is that Fuller Industries?
They are out, do you know the
That
address?
circle back behind that.
Behind
The
yeah.
old plant, what was the plant that was there? They,
Best deal.
That's-
That was formerly the old brake plant that was behind Daco.
behind Daco.
In that area. Yeah, he purchased that, and now
He's expanding.
they're expanding rapidly with that Fuller power system that they have now, and he needs additional property for laydown yards. And
Yeah, okay.
I think they're planning to install some automated welding robots and some other things. He's moving pretty fast.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Any other discussion?
Just clarify. Thank you.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Brings us to item C, first reading ordinance 23-0-05 to authorize the rezoning of a 20-acre parcel located at 2824 Jeffries Highway, identified as tax map series number 132-00-00-054 from Urban Development 1 UD1 to Urban Development 2, UD2.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Item D, first reading ordinance 23-0-06, to amend chapter 13, section 13.04.010 of the Colleton County Code of Laws to provide for the adoption of certain updated codes as mandated by the state law.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Item E is Resolution 23-R-06 to officially name the Colleton County Fire Rescue Station 19 located at 1118 Thunderbolt Drive, the W. Gene Wetzel Fire Station.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Item F, Resolution 23-R-07 to declare the results of a referendum held on November 8, 2022 in Colleton County, South Carolina, for purpose of determining whether or not pursuant to the Capital Project Sales Tax Act, a 1% sales and use tax, the tax, should be imposed within Colleton County for not more than 7 years, the proceeds of which would be expended for the purpose of the cost of certain capital projects within Colleton County as set forth in the Capital Project Sales Tax Referendum, referendum projects pursuant to the Capital Project Sales Tax Act.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, second, any discussion? Hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Item G, Resolution 23-R-08 to declare Colleton County support for Four Holes Indian Organization's application for the Social and Economic Development Strategies Grant for the Administration for Native Americans.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Are any of the members here from the Four Holes Indian Organization?
Mr. Chair, they had a meeting tonight at the exact same time, so they couldn't be here.
Okay. I was just gonna recognize.
they stepped
back out.
They had a 6 o'clock meeting.
Okay, all right. Item H, Resolution 23-R-09 to establish priorities for the 2023 annual Community Development Block Grant County Needs Assessment.
So, second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries unanimously. Item I, Resolution 23-R-10 to award the contract for the Harrelson Building New Entrance and Improvements Project.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Just for the record, I will publish that the winning contractor was IP Builders Incorporated. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Item J, Resolution 23-R-11 to reschedule the March County Council meeting. Is there a motion to do that?
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. We rescheduled that due to a conference that some of the council members will be attending on that day of the council meeting. So, and it's going to, March 14th will be the new date of the meeting.
That's the second Tuesday.
Correct. Okay, no further discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item K, Resolution 23-R-12 to advertise board vacancies.
So moved.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just on item number 4, that's the Low Country Council of Governments.
Yeah, the same thing. Do we have 2 vacancies on the Low Country Council yet?
The at-large
Vacancies on the Low Country Council yet?
and minority.
The individuals in those positions are not seeking
Like Esther Black decided that she would step down. She recommended Reverend Ron Robinson, but then there's one more member at large, and some of the things that we've been seeking to do is try to look to some of the other communities outside of Walterboro proper.
Yeah.
So that means we'll have one if we appointed him.
I think you can appoint last year, appointed him last time.
And
didn't you?
they're doing the process.
Okay. Okay, all right. All right, and just for the record, we got one vacancy on the Edisto River Canoe and Kayak Trail Committee. We have one vacancy on the Keep Colleton Beautiful Committee. We've got one vacancy on the Colleton County Accommodations Tax Advisory Board. We've got, of course, the vacancy we just stated, Low Country Council of Governments. The Land Use Zoning Board of Appeals has a vacancy. So if anybody out there is interested, now would be your opportunity. But you would have to apply, and the clerk council first can help you with that process. But if there's no other discussion, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carried unanimously. Brings us to item L, resolution 23-R-13 to appoint members of the board vacancies. We have Edisto River Canoe and Kayak Trail Committee has one vacancy, and we have one applicant, Walter Rump, I guess is how you pronounce Mr. Rump's name. The Keep Colleton Beautiful Committee has three vacancies. We have one applicant tonight, Mr. Anthony Black. Is there a motion that we appoint these individuals by acclamation?
So moved.
Second. We got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Black, I've met with him, and he said every day he cleans up trash from his house, and next day is right back. And so I went and met with him, and I told him we had a vacancy, and so he was more than willing to serve and try to work with the litter problem in Allen County. Because we can do a better job than we do as far as litter. But I think he'll be a good one in that area.
Any other discussion? No. Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carried unanimously. Brings us to item 12, items for information and public records. We have none this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we now are to item 13 on our agenda, which is public comments. This is a chance where members of the community can address council. We would ask that you try to keep your comments to at least 3 minutes per person. We did have a sign-in sheet at the door, so I'm going to work off of that sheet first, and then I don't know if somebody advised whether we have any public comments sent in via the internet. So first on the list, I have Ms. Lisa Langdale, who is going to address the Barracuda Road issue. Ms. Langdale.
Good evening. I was here last month. Good news is I'm not going to say anything tonight. Well, I have some information that I'm going to give you to rebuttal on their press release that they are still coming to Colleton County. I haven't been able to get in touch with you, Mr. Monroe, to ask you a few questions. I've called a few times, but I know you're busy. I guess one question I would have, or we as a community would have, is where are we on this? I mean, with zoning, what's our next step that we need to do besides just sit and wait and watch for them to come? Because I watch them every day, whether they're there or not. They're not doing anything on the building, but they're on the property 2 to 3 times a week.
Right. And I guess we still don't have, there's nothing been.
No, sir, we don't have a formal application that I'm aware of at this time.
This is a rebuttal from their press release. And last time, they rebutted everything we said, so I'll just let you read our rebuttal instead of telling them that we're rebuttaling. Thank you. And do you want anything? I think that's all. We just wanted to see, where should I go next? To you, or what should I do next?
We've got, like I said, we have not received any formal application from anyone at this point, so we don't really have anything to take action on. Now, we obviously, on the agenda, there's zoning issues that are going on, but we're after second reading, so we've got another reading on that. But I mean, until they submit an application, there's nothing really any of us can do.
Well, thank you. We'll be back next month if nothing's resolved. We'll see you next month. Thank you.
And also I have Ms. Felicia Johnson. Ms. Johnson. She will be addressing the club hang time closing.
Yes, I'm still about this club. Y'all making any kind of headway. Because like I said, I cannot get through to this Hazel Sanders. All she's about is $1 bill. And it's getting more ridiculous. It's a drug zone now also. They're out there in the parking lot selling drugs. And it's, like I said, it's that sick. And it's backed up, like I said, with your traffic light. Like I said last month, that man stood there in the broad daylight and got killed standing at that stop sign. When I left here last month, that Sunday, a wreck right there, they do not respect that stop sign. Where I live at is not even considered a street, it's a highway. Because they get right in front of my house and they're going around and the stop sign, they're not respecting it. You know, they could have plenty. Officers need to come and sit right by my home and they'll see what I'm talking about on a daily basis. I don't live on a street, I live on a highway. And it's bad enough with the club here on my left, and then I got to go to the stop sign here on the right. People are getting killed, and I done watched plenty of wrecks right there to that stop sign. We truly need a light there. And if you go up further River Street, it's pitch dark. I got hit back in the 90s walking on that street. It is very dangerous, and I got grandchildren. They want me to ride a bicycle. I'm sorry, but hey, we got to wait till time change, baby. Old grandmama getting out there riding a bicycle with you. Because I'm not trusting it. And bad enough, I want my grands on the weekend, but the club is right there. Like I say, my home still got bullet holes in it. And I push my dryer on every week. I got to put my finger through a bullet hole. And it's sad. That club needs to go. This song. If you look at that picture, you say, wow, what is this junk still doing open? It's a hole in the wall junk. It's not sanitized either. I called a lady from Buford DX. She's the only person helping me. She said it's a hazard. And the people that work in there, Lord have mercy on them. I wouldn't eat that one. Put my dog out there and took that. No, I'm glad they closed the restaurant. She lied about that, saying she cooked at the restaurant and bring it to the club. Now the restaurant is closed, so I know she lied. My sister was there. Thank you, Lord, she quit. I told her thank you for something I'm trying to close down. You don't need to be working in. No. But y'all, please consider closing this club and helping us with some kind of light soon and very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Okay, I don't have you on the list. You step up to the microphone. State your name for the record.
Yes, my name is Sarah Leichner, and I wanted to ask a follow-up question to what Lisa was talking about. And the question I have is, I'm concerned that I think this organization may have had some work without permits in the past. And how will we know if there's something we need to report to the council?
Or who to report it to?
Yes, because I mean, it's fine to say there's been no permits received, but I mean, what is permitted work and what's not, and where's the line, and that's what I'm trying to ask.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this without, I won't get into anybody's personal business, but there's a process they would have to go through with the county, and if they fail to follow that process, the county has certain procedures we can go through, which they would have to stop the project. Now, like I said, we have not received anything in this date. I'm quite sure that the county has been aware of the project and is probably watching to see what's going on at this point. So, but at this point, we don't have anything other than really hearsay at this point about what this project is even going to do. So they need to go through a formal process, and that process should hopefully address the concerns they're going to have.
Thank you.
So, all right, does anybody else who would like to make any public comments at this time? Evening.
Good afternoon. My name is Ernest Wiggins, and for the last 6 months, Ms. Johnson been coming here, complaining about this, that. What is the county council going to do to help this lady? That's my concern. Last 6 to 8 months, same thing we get every month. What are y'all going to do to help her?
Okay, and we hear you, Mr. Wiggins. And
Thank you.
Anybody else? Hearing no other comments, we'll move to council time. Does the council members have any comments?
Yeah, I want to mention one thing, Mr. Chair. I do want to mention one thing. There is a educators appreciation going on by members in the community, and they want to make sure we recognize all of our teachers that are working in all of the schools. Ms. Juanita Harvey is here tonight. She's one of the spearheaders of that. If someone wants to, I asked her maybe to come and tell us a little bit about it so I don't get in trouble. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening.
It's hard to hear me. So I'm going to stop and therefore finish. My name is Juanita Harvey, and we have decided to say a collaborative thank you to all of our educators. Starting tomorrow, we will be visiting every school. We have 4 schools this week, but by the 24th of February, we will have visited every school. We're providing pizza, drinks, and dessert for all of our educators and their support staff.
And we also, it's a big endeavor. There's 875 staff that will be providing to this board. So, it takes a lot of money.
What's your name, ma'am?
I'm Helen Wrigley. Juanita is the one that's heading this up, though. We're just going to volunteer to help provide the pizzas and the refreshments.
I'm Carolyn Robinson. Yes. Juanita is our neighbor. We're all neighbors. We all live right close together. And that. So we took on this endeavor because we feel the teachers are never being appreciated for what they do.
Right.
That is the struggle. Kids not listening, parents angry about things. The school system, they've been fighting the school system. So it's a job that they never told, good job. We're going to make them feel we appreciate them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, last thing I want to mention, because you're going to address the concern, but Cougar Nation is another activity that's going on in all the schools. And of course, we got at least a few of our councilmen who are a part of that Cougar Nation, but Mr. Mark Wysong is one of the people heading that volunteer hall monitoring and other things going on, people being trained actually to go into helping the schools and have more order. So they're looking for more volunteers. They need more volunteers to kind of help work with that. So contact Mark Wysong or Bubba Tripp, Scott Barron, myself. We can figure out how to get you engaged with that as well. All right?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to echo that Cougar Nation. I had the privilege. It's an innovative new program. The teachers appreciate the teachers and thank you all for doing what you're doing. Mark called a while back and we let me in on it in the ground floor. I was more than happy to be part of it. I did get to go to the schools last week and be part of it. Scheduling's made it where I can't do as much as I want to yet. I'm going to tell you that it was very rewarding. It's very eye-opening. This is a good program, so please encourage anybody you know in the community. You don't have to have children there. You have to be vested in the community. I think that's something we all can agree on. So please, if you have somebody has some time to devote, it's a really worthwhile program. So please push it out there and get some volunteers.
I want to point out we actually have a member of our school board present tonight, Ms. Lynn Strobel. Ms. Strobel, if you would, we appreciate you taking time to come to our meeting as a member of the school board. With that, I wanted to kind of go back and ask a question about, which kind of ties into Ms. Johnson's issues and how I think the county would have some mechanism to assist Ms. Johnson. And I'd say to Ms. Johnson that, I wish I could tell you, it's difficult to do things. You think it'd be easy when there's a nuisance in the community, just shut it down, but it's never as easy as it seems. And you have to make sure you follow the letter of the law. Now, it appears that law enforcement, at least from what they're saying, that their hands are tied is what they can do. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. But what we had started at one point in time, and we kind of tabled because we had some definitional concerns with our countywide business application, business license application. I would like us to get that back on track, the registration or whatever it is, so that we would have some way to have clawback to these businesses who are just not following the rules. And that's the one way, as a council, to think that we would have, arguably, at least, have some authority until somebody challenges it. I know we had some issues with that, and we kind of tabled it, but we need to get that, I think, back on the agenda so that we can get it adopted, and we'll be able to not only address issues like this, but I think it helps the county in so many other ways. So we need to put that back on the agenda next month, and I don't remember if we had 1 reading, 2 readings, or even where we were at, to be honest, but let's get it back on the agenda and see if we can. If for nothing else, we can try to help Ms. Johnson with her issues. Anybody got anything else? Okay, hearing none, looks like the next item on the agenda is executive session. We don't have, are you sure we don't have anything executive session? This is the first time in a long time, but I'm not going to argue. So that brings us to item 16, which is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. And we stand adjourned.